Just as the 1970s were coming into focus, the sound of hard rock was changing and evolving into something entirely new. How did two bands existing an ocean apart each create an album that would change the face of rock and roll forever? I'm Scott T. Sterling, and this is the Rhino Report. It was September of 1970 when an emerging band out of Birmingham, England, Black Sabbath, released their second album, Paranoid, although it wouldn't officially hit American shores until early 1971, since the group's self-titled debut was still gaining momentum in the States. In March of 1971, the very American Alice Cooper unleashed that band's third studio LP, Love It to Death. Coming out of Phoenix, Arizona, the Alice Cooper clan had relocated to Detroit, Michigan, immersing themselves in the city's wild and explosive new rock scene. While both of these groups were developing their own very unique and ultimately influential takes on hard rock thousands of miles apart, they did share some commonalities. Both acts were considered extremely controversial at the time. Black Sabbath was causing dissension within the group's own record company. The band had originally titled the album's opening track as Walpurgis, which the label soundly rejected, claiming it sounded too satanic. So they changed it to War Pigs, which also led to the idea of using that as the album title. But with the Vietnam War still raging, War Pigs as an album moniker was quickly squashed. The Paranoid album was at the center of another controversy a few years later, when a British nurse was found dead from an overdose of pills with the record playing on her turntable. Ultimately, it was determined that Black Sabbath was not to blame for her death. For Alice Cooper's Love It to Death, the initial controversy was also with the band's record company. The album's original cover featured the lead singer sticking his thumb out from the zipper area of his costume. The resulting image made it look like something other than his thumb. The cover shot was quickly replaced with a censored photo. Already a lightning rod for protesters outside of the band's concerts for its theatrical shock rock stage show, the controversy got even hotter when Alice Cooper took Love It to Death on tour. The gigs were highlighted by a mock execution of the singer in an electric chair during the last song of the set, Black Juju. Alice Cooper and Black Sabbath crossed paths in real time when they played multiple shows together in 1971, including gigs in Detroit, Ottawa, and Riverdale. Both albums arrived with an iconic second track that stands among their signature songs: Black Sabbath's Paranoid on Paranoid, and Alice Cooper's I'm 18 on Love It to Death. Those two songs have something else in common, as they both feature guitarists playing Gibson SG guitars during the recordings. For Black Sabbath's Tony Iommi, he was wielding a white 3-pickup Gibson SG while recording the Paranoid title track. For Alice Cooper guitarists Michael Bruce and Glenn Buxton, both used Gibson SGs on I'm 18. Both albums found the bands utilizing unusual methods to achieve specific sounds. For Black Sabbath album track Planet Caravan, Ozzy Osbourne sings through a Leslie speaker. The distinctive sound of a Leslie is produced by a rotating speaker, which throws sound around the room in different directions. Alice Cooper producer Bob Ezrin had the singer lay on the floor, surrounded by a cage of metal chairs, to add an element of realism to the frenzied screams in the song Ballad of Dwight Fry.
I gotta get out of here!
Both albums did well in America, with Alice Cooper's Love It to Death being the band's first successful full-length in the States, climbing all the way to number 35 on the Billboard 200. This was after their debut, Pretty's For You, barely cracked the chart, reaching number 193. The follow-up, Easy Action, didn't chart at all. Black Sabbath's Paranoid did even better, making its way all the way to number 12 on the Billboard 200. The group's self-titled debut had topped out at number 23. Question: what are your favorite albums from Black Sabbath and Alice Cooper? Tell us in the comments below. Both of these iconic hard rock releases have been immortalized as part of Rhino's famous High Fidelity series. For those who don't already know, High Fidelity reissues are high-end vinyl albums AAA cut from the original stereo master tapes by Mr. Kevin Gray, pressed on heavyweight 180-gram vinyl at optimal, and featuring glossy gatefold covers. High Fidelity releases are highly coveted and collectible versions of classic albums that sell out fast. For this version of Alice Cooper's Love It to Death, we've even brought back the original uncensored album cover. So, hightail it over to RHINO.com to secure your copies of hard rock and heavy metal history with Alice Cooper's Love It to Death and Black Sabbath's Paranoid on high fidelity vinyl while you still can. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the Rhino channel for more music news, information, and of course, the Rhino Report.